All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, and of course, we're in the middle of the playoffs. We just finished with the wild card weekend, so it's only natural. It's only the next right thing. It's only, what comes after the wild card. It's, of course, the divisional round, so we have some picks to go over. Real quick about the wild card round, we went 4-2. We got the Browns. We thought the Browns and we thought the Cowboys would win. Obviously, both Houston and Green Bay blew out the teams that they played. I know the Dallas Green Bay game was like 48-32 or something like that, but it's like the score wasn't. There was a bunch of garbage time. The Packers took their starters out. It wasn't what it really looked like. So two games I got wrong was two blowouts. Otherwise, we got everything right. Did pretty good on those ends. So did pretty good. Overall in the season, we'll see our record in a minute or so. But before we get started on the video, make sure you guys drop a like if you don't mind. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Both those things help the video do better. They help the channel out, and it's really appreciated. And make sure you leave your comments down below as well. That's more important. The thing I actually care about. I want to see what your guys' picks are looking like, what you think of my picks. Just generally how you're doing in the playoffs, how you did last week, what your picks are, if I haven't said that, for this week. Just any general thought you have. Can be negative, can be positive, can be whatever. That's the thing I'd like to see. I respond to most comments and all that fun stuff. So, all right. That's all for the YouTube mumbo jumbo. So let's get into our picks. This is just our pick'em record for the year. And like we said, we went 4-2 in the wild card. We're 160. I guess we're now 171 and 107 on the season. I just don't really ever update with the playoffs. So, all right, playoffs remaining. These are the remaining seeds. In the AFC, all three wildcard teams lost. It's been a while since I think we've seen only the division winners advance in a conference. I thought that was pretty cool personally. I thought it was like, oh, that's pretty nifty. All the wildcard teams got beat. So now we only have division winners left in the AFC. And in the NFC, it was almost the same way. But as we said, Green Bay was able to upset the Cowboys. Otherwise, Tampa Bay upset the Eagles. The Lions got over the Rams, won their first playoff game. Congratulations to them for, first one in like 33 years. And then, of course, the 49ers had the bye week. The Ravens had the bye week. So this is what we got left. We have one playing 4, 2 playing 3 in the AFC. You have one playing 7 and 3 playing 4 in the NFC. Let's see what we got for some games. Saturday football. What do we have up first? 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. By the way, all the lines are included from FanDuel, but they came after I made all my picks. I don't really consider the lines when I make my picks. They're not really in my head. I don't know them, so that way I'm not like influenced by anything. I just pick who I think is gonna win, and in these games I'm gonna go over like just a few reasons why I think the team's gonna win. Some things about the other team. I'm not gonna go like 100% in detail why I'm picking each team, but I'll give like the good rundown here. The Texans obviously won their game 45-14, blew out the Browns like we talked about. Big game for them. CJ Stroud was nearly perfect. And he had a great playoff debut, but unfortunately it seems he runs into quite the juggernaut of the Baltimore Ravens, who had the bye week. Ravens are favored by 9.5, which seems a little crazy and disrespectful, but again, it is what it is. Over under of 44.5, so keep those things in mind. They think the Ravens are going to win by like 10 points, which is quite a big win for a team that's these two teams played each other pretty close, if I remember right, in the regular season, and that's before like Stroud and the Texans kind of found their identity, built their team up. So again, expect this game to be pretty close. Again, the Texans don't seem to play small in big moments, despite their inexperience, despite the young age of the team, despite the rookies all over the place, rookie head coach. They seem to be able to rise to the occasion, so I expect them to stay in this game, play it close, play it good. I just think that there's like a talent disparity here. Like the Ravens pretty much can beat just about any team they go up against. You have to kind of get them on a bad day to beat them, it seems like this year. Again, their defense is playing at an unbelievable level. This is going to be one of the best secondaries, again, that Stroud's ever had to see again, and it's only gotten better since they played earlier in the season. You could also look at like the way the Ravens defense just kind of takes away the run. It kind of takes away everything from the offense, and it becomes very, very difficult to play. I just feel like with how good the Ravens defense has been this year, and the Texans having only seen like the defense that they seen was only at a certain ability, like week 1 of the regular season, or what was it, week 2 or something of the regular season when they played. It's like, yeah, and it's just like, this is a whole more powerful defense. And again, the Texans offense is way better, so they should be able to score and keep themselves in. But ultimately, I do think they come up, like, just feels like they're going to come up short against this Ravens defense. And again, the Ravens offensively, I think they're much better than what the Browns can be. Again, the Ravens offense has been very good this year. Lamar playing at an MVP level. He could be the MVP of the league. We'll see how that plays. Hopefully he does win it. It seems like he's going to. His receivers are very good this year. The run game is very good this year. So if you take away his receivers, he can just turn around. They can just turn around and run on you. And then they get the receiving game back. So I feel like the Texans, as good as they've played, this might be like the brick wall that they run into. And again, there's also this part of me that's like, man, the experience factor in this just has to be a thing. At some point, it feels like the Texans may run into the experience wall, but they haven't yet. So, yeah, again, I just like what the Ravens can do defensively to a team like Houston. We've seen it earlier in the regular season. They'll probably be able to replicate that and do it a little bit stronger because, again, they know how to build better. They know more what to expect from Stroud. They won't be as surprised. And then again, with the Ravens offense, they should be able to score on the Texans defense. They're not going to collapse mid-game like Flacco and the Browns did. Yeah, that's basically, I think, why the Ravens will win. Can the Texans win? Yeah, of course they can. Again, they look very good. They play pretty solid defense. The offense has been pretty immaculate. So this could be quite the battle. Again, winner goes to the AFC title game, so that's pretty cool. Imagine if Houston actually pulls off a crazy upset. But yeah, I like the Ravens to win like 28-24 on, a really strong defensive effort and a really good offensive effort. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard, we got the Green Bay Packers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are also favored by 9.5, which feels a little disrespectful, with an over-under of 50.5. So Green Bay won their game in big-ass style, 48-32. Again, that 32 by the Cowboys is a bit of a misnomer. The Packers basically put their starters in at like the start of the fourth quarter, or they pulled their starters at like the start of the fourth quarter. It's pretty crazy. And the 49ers were by, so all those things to think about. With this game, it's kind of one of them things where it's like, we know the last 4 meetings between these two teams in the playoffs have all gone for San Francisco. So that's the immediate thing where you're like, man, it just seems like Green Bay can't get over that hump. It's really hard to pick a team that can't seem to beat the other team, even with the new coaching regime. And it's like, well, part of the reason why LaFleur maybe can't beat Shanahan is this another reason why McVay tends to struggle from time to time. It seems like Shanahan's former coaches have a very hard time beating him because he knows what they're going to do offensively almost like before they think it. So his defenses are able to kind of completely shut down the offenses of the Rams, of the Packers, or at least maybe not completely shut it down, but he knows how to counter when they're doing things and playing really well. So those are a couple factors. And again, Shanahan seems to own the floor in those regards. And I don't know. I just feel like the Cowboys aren't a very good playoff team. The 49ers are a very good playoff team. The defense of the 49ers can be much better than the Cowboys. They're probably not going to choke that badly. Do I think the Packers will be in this game? Yeah, I think so. Love's playing at a very high level. He looks really good. Looks like the Packers have another great all-timer, of course. But again, it just feels like this game, it's hard to pick a team that just seemingly can't get past the regime and it's like a coaching situation. The players tend to change, but the results tend to stay the same. And that means it's like weird coaching stuff. And I know McCarthy was the coach for one of those, maybe 2, but the last 2, it's like, he had Aaron Rodgers. So it's like, why suddenly can LaFleur beat this 49ers defense with a little bit of a lesser QB? They're just, you know what I mean? And again, I don't trust the Packers defense. They look good against the Cowboys. They've looked good the last couple of weeks. But again, this is 49ers. They don't really mess around. They're very good. They're a very well-coached team. They don't really choke in big games. Hold on, let me get a drink. As long as the 49ers don't collapse health-wise middle of the game like they kind of did last year, they should be able to win this. So I like the 49ers to win 27-21. All right, Sunday, we got 2 games left. Yeah, the game everybody thought we'd see. The winner of this game goes to the NFC Championship game. 3 o'clock Eastern Standard. It'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I know. I when the season started, I was like, yeah, there's going to be a playoff game between the Bucs and the Lions. And that will determine who plays for the NFC Championship. The Lions are favored by 6.5 with an over-under of 48.5. And yeah, the Tampa Bay beat the Eagles 32-9, and the Lions got their very first playoff win. Congratulations at Ford Field in 33 years. Like, it's like, what a big moment for the Lions. And they beat the Rams 24-23, beating Matt Stafford, ending a whole bunch of problems. And now we'll see if they can get their second playoff win here. I think they do. I think the home advantage is going to be very real for the Lions going into this game, as when they played earlier in the season, they were in Tampa Bay and the Lions won 20-6. So keep that in mind. Again, normally when a team beats a team, that second game, the other team would be favored. But the Lions were missing like a number of very important starters, like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jonah Jackson. And like, if you go look, it's like, I think Montgomery was out for that game. I think Jameson was playing in his like first game back. So it's like the Lions were in a really different state with injuries and people missing and things just not being quite right. And right now the Lions are in very good health. Things are right. Things are looking good. They may even have James Houston. Laporta's going to be healthier. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's back. They have their whole offensive line good and ready to go. So the Rams are getting a better version of the Lions than they already got. And when they got the lesser version of the Lions, they weren't really able to win or really do anything against, a shaky defense, especially a shaky defense on the road. Now they have to go into the Lions' home where it's a lot louder, a lot more volatile, a lot harder to beat Detroit, because Detroit plays way better at Ford Field than anywhere else. So I like that. One of the problems for the Bucs is the offensive line can be a bit shaky. The Lions can actually put really good. They may not sack the quarterback, but they get pretty good pressure with Aiden Hutchinson. I like that. They'll be able to shut down the run game of the Buccaneers, force them to be one-dimensional, have to throw up a whole bunch. And the Buccaneers receivers like drop footballs, and they're not as like dangerous as the Rams. So the Lions should be able to adjust and be able to handle the Rams receiving game. And even if they can't, one of the things I noticed with Tampa Bay is they seem to have trouble converting good drives into touchdowns. They take a lot of field goals. Even against the Eagles last night, they were taking a ton of field goals, and most of their touchdowns seem to be like long freak play touchdowns. Not like building drives to touchdowns. So again, when you play a team like the Lions, you probably got to like score and probably score touchdowns, especially if they're going to be able to score on your defense. Because again, the Eagles were like getting things working, and it's just like their offense is broken. I don't know. I think the Bucs will keep it close with their defense, keep the score kind of low, and they'll definitely be able to score on the Lions' defense. It's just I don't know if they'll be able to match with what the Lions are able to do, especially because they're a team that tends to take a lot of field goals. The Lions also tend to match up well with quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield, like I said with Stafford. Again, if the less mobile the quarterback is, it seems the better the Lions play. So I just like the Lions in this game. It feels like a good game for the Lions. It feels a lot less shaky than the Rams game. They match up well here. They matched up well in either one of these games. This was like an ideal game for the Lions. So again, I like the home team. I like the way the Detroit offense works. I think they can score off Tampa Bay. And again, I like the Lions defense. The run defense. They haven't given up 70 yards to a running back all year, so they should be able to stop the Tampa run and force them into passing all game, which should help out their defense to kind of plan a little bit, get good pressure, force bad throws, get some turnovers. That's kind of how I think this game will go, especially since Baker's willing to take like deep, risky shots and take shots downfield. So the Lions could kind of sit back and pick those off with guys like Kirby Joseph or C.J. You know what I mean? Like, they tend to do well against these situations. So I like the Lions to win this game. Plus, I think the Lions got way better coaching, so they can kind of just take advantage of that. The Bucs might have better coaching than the Eagles. Last game of the week. Yep, I got my only upset. I got my only away team winning. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard taking on the Buffalo Bills. Very exciting little game here coming up. Bills are 2.5-point favorites with an over-under of 45.5. Kansas City beat the Dolphins 26-7, and the Bills beat the Steelers 31-17. I wanted to pick Buffalo, but in the back of my head, I'm like, I feel like the Chiefs just kind of own the Bills in the playoffs. And I don't know if I trust the Bills to be able to finally slay their demons here. And the reason I don't think so is because I have this sneaking suspicion that this game is going to end on a very bad interception by Josh Allen. Now, you have to kind of consider, like, Kansas City has one of the best defenses in the league this year. The Bills, they play very good offense. Their defense has been improving since all the injuries, and they're starting to get a little better, blah, blah, blah. Josh Allen's still, like, weirdly prone to turn the ball over and, like, make really weird decisions. They don't really hurt the team that bad, and they don't really affect the team. But I'm feeling like it's either going to be a pick or a strip sack toward the very end of this game. Of a very close game, because again, I think these are very evenly matched teams. I think the Chiefs, I think their offenses are very equal to an extent. I think the Bills have a slightly more a better offense, but I think that's kind of like nullified by the Chiefs defense. And I think the Chiefs defense makes things very equal in this game, because again, it brings the Bills offense down to the level of the Chiefs, or just barely above it. And the Bills defense, I don't think, is enough to really mess with the Chiefs offense too badly. If they had like Matt Milano and everybody healthy, maybe a different story. But those two, like, it's like the defense brings the Bills, so you kind of have this even game here. And I feel like it'll be like, you know what I mean, 27-24, and the Bills are driving down the field, and like there's just this devastating turnover. And it's like the only time of the season when the turnovers actually affect Josh Allen and the Bills. Because again, this Chiefs defense is going to be the X factor of this game. That's kind of the thing you want to keep your eye on. Can they make the big play to stop the Bills? I think they do. Because again, I think this is going to be a very tight game. Could be tied all the way through. Chiefs get a big turnover, run it down, kick a field goal, and just kind of break the Bills' heart again. Again, I think this mainly because, again, the Bills just seem to not be able to get past the Chiefs in the playoffs. And it's one of them things where it's like, until they do it, it's like really hard to pick them, you know? So give me Kansas City against the Bills. We'll see if they can maybe pull it off, but until we see them do it, it's really hard to pick them to do it. You know what I mean? I think that's it. Yep. Alrighty. We got through it. So, real recap. I got Ravens, 49ers, Lions, and Chiefs. So, my NFC Championship game is the Lions at 49ers and Chiefs at Ravens. That would be an exciting little affair, wouldn't it? I think so. Let me know what you think in the comments again about the picks, what your picks are, what do you think of my picks, whether negative, bad, whatever, just what you think of my thought processes, any of that fun stuff you can make a comment on. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. But again, I hope you did enjoy the video. We're getting low. We only have 2 left after this to make, so it's kind of sad. Pick'em's almost over for the year. But hey, then we have a whole nother year coming up. We have a whole off season of fun stuff to wait through and figure out and try to see what's going to happen. So, yeah, it's bittersweet because, again, the games are way better. These 4 games are awesome this week than the 2 next week and the 1 in 2 weeks after that. You know what I mean? The games are awesome. It's just, you know, we're running out of them. Won't be too long before we're pining for the Panthers at the Bears. Anyway, I hope everyone has a good rest of your day, night, morning, mid-afternoon, mid-evening, that time between. I ran out of times to do, so just weird time adjective and yada yada, blah, 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 blah. Leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, YouTube mumbo jumbo. And yeah, take it easy. Go Lions. Go Tigers. And of course, it's always, go Patriots. Bye. I don't know why I said that so weird. Have a good day.